to really follow.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have been, we've been working for many years coordinating with Goldman Sachs and with the Salt Lake Community College. And so we're pretty well integrated with their alumni program now.
Mm-hmm.
And, we think we help them a lot. And of course, they help us as well. They provide information on all the new cohorts coming out. We both maintain email contact, and we try to coordinate, what we're doing and our events and things like that so that we're cross promoting and all that type of stuff. But my role is really to be kind of the voice of the alumni for Goldman Sachs. And then, from time to time, we really try to recruit other people who are interested in getting involved. And, I'm not really trying to like own or control anything. I'm just trying to facilitate everybody staying involved.
That's
And
fantastic.
so two of the other people on the call who will have to introduce themselves are Melanie and Anton. And they both work full time for my company or companies. And they really help me a lot to make sure that we have continuity, that we don't get too busy where we drop off and don't follow through with stuff like this. So that's a quick introduction to me and my team and my relationship with this event.
I'm so glad you're here, Thor. I'm so glad you're here. So Thor was instrumental in creating the AI event, and we as a team, as we were doing the recap for the last AI event, Thor had this idea to do a backlink party, and I thought it was brilliant because so often we go to networking events and we want to have connection and we want to build relationships. But the problem is that then we have to go back to build our businesses, and sometimes like nothing happens from it. It takes time, but like nothing happens. And so what we wanted to do is create a backlink party, and I'll explain why backlinks are so important so that we're actually moving the needle for our businesses, that Goldman Sachs alumni can become a force for actually helping build a stronger foundation for your business. Isn't that exciting? So you guys are the guinea pig. We are looking forward to a big event with Goldman Sachs alumni in September. And so we wanted to present this backlink party strategy as a means that we can not only support each other's businesses, but also bring more awareness to the 10,000 Small Business Program and help facilitate more businesses growing. And so we, Thor and Guy, who was another member of the AI event, have done an initial guinea pig event. You guys are our first bigger group. So I'm really grateful you guys are willing to spend time, but I guarantee if you guys will help and facilitate and follow through with what we're talking about today, this will actually help your business grow, which I'm super excited. So we are going to be doing a lot during our call today. I am recording this call, and I will post it so you guys can have access to it later. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, just take a big deep breath and just know that we have support here on the call, as well as there'll be a chance to listen to the recording as well. But my goal is that the work is done when you're done with the call, so that you're not going to have to worry about the mental load of doing stuff later. You may have to follow up on a few things, but that's the goal, is to get things done. I'm going to also introduce on the call Wendy Strickland. Wendy, give us a hello. Wendy is one of my senior developers. She's an awesome integration specialist on our team, and she is here. Her whole goal today is to support the team. So if you guys haven't yet filled out your form,
I just dropped it in the comment.
Oh,
I
thank you so
in the chat
much.
And asked everyone to fill it out.
Yay. I think everyone's filled out, but if you haven't filled out the form for your organization, please fill it out, and Wendy will get us organized. Yeah, go ahead, Wendy.
I'm not sure if Melanie, Thor, and Anton are going to do them separately. Those are the only three that I don't have.
Yes, so we're going to have them have one person fill out the form for that organization. And Melanie and Anton and Thor, you guys can decide amongst yourselves and have somebody be in charge of filling out that form. But we are going to be tracking a lot. And
Go for it, Anton.
What?
Go for it.
The link is in the invite that I forwarded to you.
And it's also in the chat if you open up the chat. So Wendy will be helping us stay organized. So let me tell you guys what the plan is for today, how we're going to proceed today. So first off, I'm going to tell you guys the basics of SEO. and why it's important in terms of getting new traffic. So you have a fundamental understanding of how this party is going to work. And we're going to talk about domain authority. I'm going to guide you in understanding how to get your domain authority so you know where we're starting. As we produce, we're hopeful that we can create a monthly backlink party every month. We can be helping each other and supporting each other, but then you know where you're starting. So we're going to talk about domain authority. And then what we're going to do is we're going to break out into teams. In this group, we have health and wellness, real estate, construction, professional services, and food and hospitality. Depending on who else shows up, we may have to reorganize who is going in which teams. And I'll explain that a little bit more in just a minute. And then what we're going to do is we're going to, inside of our teams, we're going to decide who is going to give a link to whom. And so there'll be kind of a round robin, and I will show you. I just did a blog post on my website for Thor when we did our example. So I will show you what that looks like. And then we're going to actually use AI to help write content for your blog that you're going to post on your own blog that will have a link to somebody else that's in the room. And so we're going to step by step show you how to do that. And then we'll actually do that work together. We'll post it together if you have your passwords and logins. Okay. I'm going to show you guys how to log in based on a WordPress site. But if you have a different platform, then we will do as much as we can to help you. Austin, you have a question?
Two questions. So I was actually planning on having my marketing person implement the changes and whatever the things were. So now, should I have planned on her being to this so she could listen in and do and implement said changes, or can I still take the information back to her?
That's a great question. You can absolutely take it back to her. That literally is why Anton is sitting in the room, is because he's going to implement for Thor. And so, yes, if you want to get on and ask her to come on if she has time, that's fantastic. Yeah. If she wants to watch the recording and you take content back to her, the only thing that she'll have to do that you can't do on the call is actually posting it on your website.
Okay.
But I want to practice everything else. Yeah, Wendy.
We won't have breakout room access in the recording. So that part won't be on the recording.
Correct.
So you'll need to take notes for that section.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I had one other thing. So obviously this is relatively new. I've already got one other person that is interested in joining this kind of an event. Mm-hmm. Do we openly talk about and invite people to this that we think will be beneficial to continue to grow and expand this? He might I need to double check. He might actually be a previous 10,000 small businesses graduate too, but
yes.
I just wasn't sure if anybody that's interested, business owners that are in the market of trying to grow, if they want to come to this consistently, invite them and have them come.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So this class today is a free class. When we go from our guinea pig event to officially sponsored events, there'll be a small fee. And correct me if I'm wrong, Thor, anyone can come to that. That would be a great opportunity to strengthen businesses as a whole and get the word out about 10,000 small businesses. So,
yes, that's correct. We're really just trying to strengthen our network of small businesses in Utah. This is, I think, one really good tool. But it's always good just to have more people come to our face-to-face events as well. So, really, we're trying to make the whole network an open network. Mm-hmm. Even though primarily, it's going to be 99% graduates of the Goldman program or people going through the program.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess it could be a loss leader or an introductory to the program too. They'll probably show up and see a bunch of people talking about, hey, you haven't gone yet. Go test it out.
Yeah.
So, yes. Yeah. And Goldman wants us to do that. They're always looking for more people to apply.
Excellent.
Yep.
That's a great question. Thank you so much for asking that. So we will definitely keep you in touch about, we want to get your feedback of what went really well. What did you notice? What could we do better? And so we will be definitely keeping you apprised of upcoming events. In addition to, I think, live events, are easier, especially in this workshop format. However, there's a lot more of a time commitment to get to a live event. And so, seeing it, does this work in this kind of Zoom format? So, so to get started, I want to talk about the basics of search engine optimization. If you guys have been around for a minute, you know that I love analogies. Audrey's coming. I'm so excited. Okay. I love analogies. And so I like to use analogies to help simplify concepts and then help apply them to modern technology. So I want you guys to think about the Regency period. The Regency period was in England in the 1800s when the king was the regent. And that's typically like your Jane Austen period. It's the Pride and Prejudice era. Any Regency romance novel lovers in the room? I'm raising my hand because that's me. Okay. In those days, hi, Audrey. I'm so glad you're here. Make sure you click on the link in the chat and fill out the form. Okay. And Wendy, if you can communicate with her via chat, that'd be great. Okay. So in the Regency period, if you were to go to a ball, you get all dressed up and it's the who's who in the town. You cannot talk to somebody unless somebody of high reputation introduces you to the person you don't know. Okay. So if I'm a stranger in town and I'm going with my uncle to the ball, I have to wait for my uncle to introduce me to somebody that's there in order for me to be able to talk to anybody. Well, Google is kind of the same way. So I think it's like Google is like King George, right? King G, King Google. If we want the king's attention and if we want him to know who we are and introduce us to the kingdom, which are the search engine results and the users, we have to have people that already know the king, who already have a good reputation, introducing us. And that is done through backlinks. Okay. So every time another website, whether it's a social media platform, whether it's a directory, whether it's a blog post, if somebody has a link from their website to your website, that's called a backlink. Okay. Now, there's different tiers, right? So maybe you have a field hand or somebody that works with the horses and they introduce you. Is that a really valuable introduction? It's all right. But what if a landowner introduces you to the king? Is that a better introduction in terms of social collateral? Yes, it is. And so if you look at in England, there was like the social hierarchy. On Google, it's called domain authority. Now, depending on which platform you're getting your data from, it can be called a couple of different things. It can be called page strength. It can be called domain authority. It can be called domain strength. It just depends on which tool you're looking at. And so what I want us to do, the first exercise that I want us to do is I want us to understand what is your domain authority. And we're going to have a whole variety of domain authorities in the room. Some of us might be 6 or 10 out of 100. Some of us might be 50. Okay. It depends on how many backlinks you have and how big is your page and how long it's kind of like your credit score, right? There's a wide variety of factors. So the first thing that I want you to do is go to jumbojohn.com. I'll pop this link in the chat and you're going to scroll down all the way to the bottom of that page. So this is our website. You're going to scroll down several panels to, it says get a free website audit. You're going to put your URL in here, your first name, your last name, and your email address and hit check right here. And you are going to receive a report. This report is super valuable. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time except for just to get this one number. But you're welcome to use that report and see how your website's performing. On my report, it's on page 8. You'll see that it says I have a domain strength of 12 and I have a page strength of 4. Okay. And this will show me how many backlinks do I have, how many referring domains do I have, etc. These two numbers, this first set of the domain strength is what I'm looking for. And then I'm looking for the number of backlinks. Okay. So that might take just a few minutes. And this is not something that we have to necessarily share with the crowd. But I do want you to know where you're starting. And because this is not a short run game. This is a long-term game. We are planting a forest for your business. So we have to know where we're starting. Okay. Now, when you guys are done with that, I want you to give me a thumbs up so I know how much time to give you. Awesome. Thank you, Tony. Good job, Krista. Austin, you're like official Zoom. You got the cool widgets happening today. This report gives you a score in 5 important areas. And so this is really helpful. If you guys have any questions about this report, I'd be happy to help you understand the full breadth of your website, but this is a really good place to start. Okay.
Can I add with that? As
Yeah.
a developer, we use this report every day to see how the sites that we're building are performing so that we can build the best websites for customers as well. So this report works not only for you as the site owner, but it works really well for us as developers as well.
Mm-hmm.
Very
It's
important for us.
so important. So important. Okay, Anton, is your team good? Were you able to find it?
Oh,
Xana, you good?
wait, are you guys filling out that form too? Or are we just doing one of us?
This one.
Okay, I
Melanie
was
nominated-
curious about my
Melanie
own
nominated
website, so I
you.
stuck my thing in some.
Yeah,
I guess we'll have to do
Okay.
EVN
Okay.
law also.
So as you're taking notes,
I did it, but it says the website is not responding properly to our crawler.
that's interesting. That could indicate that there's an issue. It may be that we're having a lot of people doing the requests at the same time, and it could be an issue with the crawlable space on your website. So Wendy, will you help Melanie through chat with that?
I did it, but I'm not getting a page that tells me what my score is. Like
Okay.
what I got, my first page says website report, and then it says audit results, and then it just says that I have a on page CEO. Oh, that's why, because I have no links.
Well, yes. So if
I have an F on the links.
that's pretty common. That's pretty common. So you're gonna have to scroll down. On my report, it's on page 8.
Okay.
We're gonna have to scroll down to the links section to get to this data.
All right, let's see.
That's great. And the other thing you can do is you can click on links and it'll drop you down to that spot.
Okay, thank you.
That's great.
Really fast question, Sarah. So the link that we submit in for that check, so that is it based off of our entire domain, or is it based off of the specific landing page
You can
that we've
only
loaded?
put your homepage in and
Okay.
it checks it for your whole website.
Okay, yeah, I've seen a lot of the different variations, so I was making
That's a
sure
great
how yours
question.
is working.
Yeah, that's a great question. Okay, so that is just an interesting fact of like, where are we starting? So how many backlinks do you have? I have seen some websites that have 5,000 backlinks and they're still getting like a C on their backlink strategy. So again, I'm not saying that to discourage you. There's a wide variety of quality of backlinks. For example, like if you go into a comment on a blog and have a backlink, that's like a really poor backlink. It's like doesn't have much collateral to it. But if the New York Times runs an article and has a backlink to your website, that's like really, really cool. Okay. So the links that we're building today are amongst ourselves are a high quality backlink. That's the goal. Okay. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to break out into teams for just a few minutes, and I'm going to give you guys instructions. The challenging part of this is when you guys go into your breakout rooms, the chat is not visible for the main breakout room. So you may need to copy and paste your notes or put your notes in someplace else. Okay. So having a backlink that's valuable is only valuable if it's a relevant link, if it's a relevant introduction. So for example, I'm a website development company. It probably wouldn't be super valuable if I gave a backlink to like a dog squeaky toy website, because our industries aren't the same. So for example, this is so important as a web developer. We've developed over 415 websites. We have chosen not to do Powered by Jumbo John with a backlink to Jumbo John from our websites because the websites we're building aren't relevant to web development. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to put each of us in a group where we can have a relevant backlink. So tentatively, and Wendy, you can help me if I'm misspeaking. We have already kind of put everybody in a category. But for example, Audrey and Carissa are both in food and hospitality. So it makes a lot of sense for you two to backlink to each other, right? We have hospitality and travel, healthcare and wellness. We have Deanna and Tony, but Deanna hasn't come yet. So with Tony, I may put you with a professional services. Our professional services is going to be a little bit more broad, and we can combine everyone together. Xana, you're in real estate and construction, but I don't have somebody in that industry in here, so I'm going to put you into professional services as well. Okay.
Okay, and Deanna sent a message that she got her dates mixed up and she had a full clientele today and wasn't going to make it.
Okay. You'll miss her. I'm sad that I don't get to see her. But so what's going to happen, and this is what Thor and I did last week, is I said, okay, I'm a web developer. I'm going to give a link to Thor. And so what I did is I went to my Jumbo John website and I created, Wendy, will you find that link for me? The article we just posted about Thor. And so as a web developer, I wrote an article that was relevant to Jumbo John that I was able to get a link to Thor's attorney website. And so we said something to the effect of, as a business owner, don't forget, you can't just do marketing. You also have to take care of all the legal needs for your business. Okay. So this is navigate your business with care, get a business lawyer. So it's relevant to my business and it's pretty, it fits with my brand. So you've come a long way. You have great ideas. This is no mountain, small mountain you've climbed. Congratulations. We're your guide for marketing, but you need a good business attorney too. And so then we talked about why you need a business attorney. And then we introduced EVN Law, EVN Law. I don't know how you guys say it. Evan, EVN?
EVN.
EVN. Thank you so much. And so you'll notice here, there's actually 2 links. Okay. And then what we did is Guy, who's on a camping trip right now, he's giving a link to Jumbo John. And then Thor, you guys are giving a link to Guy. Okay. Are you guys following me so far? So our goal when we break out into groups is, this is our list of people that are coming today. So if I go to this tab, and I will give access to everybody. Wendy, if you can make this public and then share the link in the chat for this document, that'd be great. So if I go to professional services, if I'm in the professional services breakout group, this is me. So this is my name, my company name. If I'm giving a link to Anton, this is Anton's company name and his information. I need to know what link does he want. Now it may be to the homepage, but like you'll see here, Anton and Melanie and Thor are giving a link to Austin, and Austin's link is a specific landing page. Right? And so I would actually encourage us not to just do the homepage, but like, what blog post do you want to highlight? What landing page do you want to focus on? And so the goal of the breakout rooms is to make sure that everyone in that category knows who they're giving a link to. Okay. And then what we can do is we can say, okay, what is the article title going to be about? And if there's any little notes you have about the article. So for example, it would be a lot easier for Anton to come up with an article title and some notes about Thor's business than it is for me, because I'm not an attorney. Right? So if you're receiving a link, it would be really helpful for you to help, and you guys can fill this out or you guys can talk about it. Okay. So we've just added Tony to this group. Austin's in this group, and I think we need to add Xana to this group too. Okay. Okay. I want to hear from the team. I want to hear back what the assignment is, just to make sure everyone's super clear about the goal. Who wants to be our guinea pig and sharing back what we just talked about?
I can dive in if you want.
Hey,
We're,
go for it. Go for it.
So essentially we're going to break out into the rooms with our industry specific people, trading backlinks with industry specific companies will have a better impact than just trading with any of our clientele or anybody else, because they might do different types of services. And then essentially we just need to focus on who we're giving the information to so that we can get the title and blog type of post of, you know, content target just from that individual for where we're going to give them who's going to get the links from us.
Perfect. That's awesome. So Austin, you're going to give me a link. Thank you so much in advance. When I'm in this group, I will fill out what would be a good article title idea. Austin can play with it. And then what are some things that I know about web development that he might not know about, that when we go to the AI side of this workshop, that there's more information that you can feed to AI. Okay. Okay. So does anybody have any questions before we break out into groups? And you guys can just unmute yourself and ask questions. Yeah,
Also, I will be in the main room. So if you guys have questions when you're in the breakout, come back to the main room and I will be there answering questions.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Wendy. Okay. So we have, we have the food and hospitality. So in a minute, I'm going to open out our breakout. Matthew's here. He's going to be so confused. Okay.
Hi, Matthew.
I know he's just hopping on. So what we're going to do is we're going to break out into those rooms. So that means Matthew and Tony can share. Matthew, I'm so glad you're here.
I'm sorry I'm late.
You're so good.
Hello.
You're so good. Okay. Matthew, we're going to break out into rooms in just a minute. I want you to go to the health and wellness room. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Awesome.
Tony and Matthew are in the health and wellness room. Audrey and Carissa are going to go to food and hospitality, and everybody else is going to be in the professional services room. Okay. So I will be in the professional services room with you guys. Tony, can you catch Matthew up on the goal of the breakout room?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
That does bring up a question though. It seemed like you kind of did more like round robin links. Is it okay to just to have two people and each of us link to each other's? Okay.
Yep, absolutely. You can do one at a time backlinking to each other, or you can do round robin. It either way is great for today's exercise. Okay. Great question. Okay. So I'm going to open up the rooms. I'm going to go ahead and open up the rooms, go into the room. So my food and hospitality room and my health and wellness room. If you guys have questions, just pop out and ask Wendy. She'll stay in the main room. Okay. And actually, what would be super helpful, Wendy, will you do a quick, after everyone's gone, just do a quick explanation for Matthew?
Yeah, Matthew, do you want us to stay in the main room here for like,
you know what,
2 or 3
Tony
minutes?
and Matthew just stay in the main room. Let's just do that. Does that sound good? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to open the room. So there's going to be a link on the bottom. If you see more, it says breakout rooms. Click on your breakout rooms, and then you get to choose which of the rooms you're going to go into. So then you have to pick the room that makes sense for you. Okay.
Matthew, rather than filling out that form, let me just get the information from you really quick so that it's easier. What's your company name?
It's frameworkseyewear.com. Frameworks Eyewear, but I'm filling it out right now.
Okay. And we're going to give your link.
Tony, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm on. Still in
Okay.
there.
Audrey, you're still here because you have questions.
I didn't get this breakout room, but I can stay too. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So
Hi, Audrey.
do you see at the bottom where it says breakout rooms? Like on the bottom toolbar, there should be like show captions, and then it has like 4 squares that say breakout room. And then you'll just go choose food and hospitality.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Bye, Tony.
Bye. Good to see you.
Bye.
Okay. I'm just organizing this really quick. Okay, so what the plan is now, Matt, is are you Matthew or Matt? Matthew?
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay. I
sent
always
that
need to
form to
shorten
you.
it. I have a little boy. My son's name is Bennett. He does not go by Ben. You do
Okay.
not call him Ben. Anyway,
I
so
sent that form to you, by the way, too.
thank you so much. Okay, so what we're doing is each person filled out that little form. When we come back into the main room, Sarah's going to show us how to use AI to generate an article. So what we're going to do is we're going to exchange information, and I'm going to share this link for the form just in case you did not see it because it was before you came in the room. And so if you go to that Google Sheet document, under guest list, it'll show everyone who registered or is here today. And then the two of you are under healthcare and wellness. So I'm just going to have the two of you swap information. And what will happen is you'll write an article that will be featured on your website that will highlight Tony's services. And Tony will write an article, because we're going to show you guys how to have AI write that will highlight your services. So,
okay.
So what will happen? I'm going to hurry and finish filling this in really quick. Frameworks, eyewear. So, what will happen is we're going to come up with like an article title. These are things that AI needs to generate a better post for us. So what we'll do is, for example, I'm going to use you as an example. So you have an eyewear company. How are you going to use that to highlight oral radiology? Think of something that's within, your industry that can relate to Tony's industry. And we'll create a title that we want it to have.
Okay, so I'm thinking, Tony, that I can do something like glaucoma is the silent sneak thief of sight. So yours is oral radiology. Like you can have something going on in your mouth that can't be diagnosed unless you get full imaging of your mouth. So, and you can't diagnose vision loss, glaucoma without an eye exam.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That's like tying them together.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tony?
I mean, sometimes I see things. I mean, the images I look at, they're like CTs, and they'll show the eyes, but it's not going to show something like glaucoma. It'll show
Oh
them
no, what the point?
calcifications.
Yeah, I guess what the point that I was trying to make is overall wellness checks, and like glaucoma you don't feel. You may not feel something in your mouth that may be there and growing that you have no idea is growing, and without that image,
so here's another thought that I just had.
you're not going to know.
Maybe you can say, to get the 20/20 vision of to get a full view of the dental, let's focus on, you can't see this without having this image. It's like putting on your glasses by doing this.
Yeah, and I could do a similar thing. I was just trying to think if there was a more direct relationship. But yeah, I could talk about all the hidden things I see because dentists are not seeing everything.
Yeah.
Right.
In these images in the cone beam CTs.
Cone beam CTs are so incredible, by the way.
Yeah.
My husband had one last year because he had, anyway, lots of things, but it diagnosed something that we'd gone like a year and a half trying to figure out. So
yeah,
they really are like, they give you full view of things that you wouldn't see otherwise.
Yeah. And then the crazy thing is I see how much stuff is missed
Yeah.
by dental
Yeah.
specialists that take cone beams and they just don't interpret the entire thing.
Because they don't have that full vision.
Right.
See, I'm like trying to find us
There you
ways to
go.
get it together. I'm putting you guys together. I'm gonna make it work.
Yeah.
So can you guys think of like a title that would work for each other? And I'm gonna let you guys think about that. And also fill in notes of like, you guys can edit, you should have edit capabilities to
I
just,
wasn't able to edit. I was trying to update my
okay,
link.
let me make sure that it's, thank you for letting me know that. Okay, yep. Editor, you guys can update it now.
Okay.
But then it gives you guys the links to each other's sites that are being that you want to highlight in the article, and wait until you see how cool. I don't know how much you guys use AI in your businesses, but
I use it quite a bit. Mm-hmm. You guys, are we just using ChatGPT, or is there another one you guys?
that's what we're going to use today. Yeah, ChatGPT I have up on my computer every single day. It's one of the first programs I open.
Mm-hmm.
It even can help me. I'll say I need a code that these are the classes and this is what I need it to do. And it'll write out my basic code to start from. So it's pretty incredible.
Huh. I'm actually going to use it to help with the title.
Do it. That's the great thing.
So I'm going to recommend a title for Matthew to write for me, right? And then vice versa, and just kind of come up with the information for him.
Yep. Or you can come up with your own title and then add, I think maybe coming up with your own title and sharing it is the easier way.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just put it into ChatGPT and said, okay, I need a blog title for an expert optician who offers, and I just used your summary, and it says, seeing clearly, expert optician recommends high quality eyeglasses for dental radiologists. So that's a way that we could link the two. I mean, that's not the only way, but that's a way that we could, you could, say, hey, if you need glasses, here's someone to go to.
This is actually what I was kind of thinking. Because I fit eyeglasses, I'm not the eye doctor.
Yeah.
So I was thinking somewhere on the lines of just like oral radiology, it depends. The image is only as good as the person reading the image. Right? Like you can take all these images, but you're not, and then with eyeglasses, the eyeglass prescription is only as good as the person filling the eyeglass prescription.
Right.
Like, we always tell, like when we go out to ophthalmologists and we try to get them to refer to us, we always tell them your prescription is only as good as the optician who fills them or the optical shop who fills it. Because
Yeah.
if they fill it wrong, then your prescription's going to be bad.
And just like Tony was saying, he is able to catch things that specialists miss because they aren't looking correctly. That's
What do you think of that, Tony?
That sounds great. In fact, I had some options from ChatGPT too, and I'm gonna feed that into it and see what it comes up with.
yeah, we yeah, like you were saying, you're able to catch things. My husband went, he's a CPA, and he had a guy that came in and was like, could see that he was, in dental pain, whatever. And he was like, have you, done all these things? And he's like, I've done everything. The guy's like, let me do this cone beam scan.
Yeah.
He's like, guaranteed, I know what the problem is. 20
Nice.
minutes late, he took him straight to his office. 20 minutes later, he knew what the problem was because of a cone beam scan.
Yep.
And we've been dealing with it for a year and a half. Like, they told him that it was some nerve issue, but it wasn't, because no one could find it.
Yeah.
Darn wisdom tooth died.
I'd be curious to look at it if you'd want to send it to me at some
Yeah,
point.
I'll have to see if I can find it. It was, yeah, he had a wisdom tooth that he still had, and he was using it. It was in occlusion. He ended up having a root canal on a wisdom tooth.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, but it had just it had died, and it was abscess, but there wasn't any obvious decay, and no one was seeing it. So darn wisdom.
I have a lot of examples like that where it doesn't show up.
Yeah, it doesn't show up on an x-ray.
I reviewed about 60 cases, and these are ones from my school where I teach. And supposedly it had other dentists reviewing the cone beam scans because they're reviewing it to do implant placement.
Oh yeah.
And on 12 of them, they had other periapical lesions like that. They had other infections that just were not diagnosed.
Right. You're
It
like,
was kind of surprising how high that frequency
yeah,
was.
that's like 1/5 of the cases.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was crazy. But our oldest son has enough room in his mouth for his wisdom teeth. And my husband's like, no, we are not leaving them. Because he was the same way.
Yeah,
They're
they
like,
can
you have
cause
enough room,
problems.
just leave them. But he's had so many problems with them. Let's get rid of those.
Well, here I just posted a chat, a bunch of potential things. I don't know if we could mix that with
Oh yeah, these are great.
what Matthew was talking about.
Unearthing dental
The
issues.
hidden truth. I kind of like that.
Yeah. Sharper vision in dentistry, how experts analyze making CBCT imaging effective. Yeah, I like that. There's some really good ones here. Clues, the importance of skilled interpretation.
I think this is what it came up for me.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And then if we just make some notes just saying, hey, and focus on, whatever it is that you guys think would fit in to switch back and forth.
Let's see.
But what Sarah alluded to this with sharing that link. Google looks very highly on links. Backlinks are like a huge thing. And where she showed these are, this is how low it is. it's not uncommon when we launch a website that it will be at 0 because there's just not a lot of outbound links. But the more important thing is having inbound links. So having links coming to your site from other places. And that's where this is really beneficial to everyone, because this is creating those inbound links. You can create outbound links yourself, but you can't create inbound links yourself.
Yeah, looking at mine, it shows 1.6 thousand backlinks, and I think my programmer who works with, my marketer, did a lot to get that, but it still ranks at a D, so they're probably pretty weak.
I
Yeah.
have
That's
I
a
have
great
10,000 backlinks, so, and I'm still ranking a C, I think. So it's,
Well, that's a really good, like, if we're looking at correlation between the number of backlinks and that authority. So that's saying we have a lot of backlinks, but you might be getting a lot of links from the farm hands and from maybe the stable manager, not necessarily the landowner. Right?
So social media links rank poorly. So if a lot of them are social media, that could be part of it.
Yeah. You guys, how did that go? I want to hear from our food team. I want to hear from our health and wellness team. How did that go? Were you guys able to fill out the worksheet? Okay.
I mean, we didn't quite come up with an article title, but we talked a lot about like what we wanted to put in the blog posts. And so I think the title will be a work in progress, but we'll get there.
Yes, and that's okay. That's totally okay. So, for an example, I want somebody from the healthcare and wellness team, somebody from the professional services, and somebody from the hospitality to share with the team what they came up with. And the reason why I want to solidify this is because we're practicing a new neural pathway. And I want to make sure that as you walk away from this, that you understand the process, but then you can also start processing that for your own business. So you could be networking and say, hey, company B, I want to work with you. Can we do backlinks for each other? And then you can guide that conversation with them. Okay. So, Carissa, are you up for sharing your line? Because you're doing a link for Audrey. Are you willing to share?
Yeah, sure. So they just opened a location up at the University of Utah, and I didn't put anything in here, but and so we're going to talk about that, the fact that they have the new location, that they focus on Peruvian coffee. It's farm to cup. Their quality is really, really high. And then also talking about that it's a women-owned business.
Awesome. I love that. So in a minute, we're going to be adding that information to ChatGPT. So what I'd like for you and Audrey to do is put the notes in that you just mentioned. Just
okay.
Pop them in there. And then also, Wendy, will you put a column in all of them that says that it's been posted? And then yes, that's that it's been posted. And then we need a column that's the corresponding URL. Like, where can Carissa go on Audrey's website to find her link? Because then she can share that on her own.
I will stop being confused immediately, I promise. If that happens.
It is a little bit confusing. It is a little bit confusing, but it's kind of like our tag team thing. Okay. Very good. Thank you so much. Hospitality and travel. We just did that. Healthcare. Who wants to share what they talked about? Tony or Matthew, you're up.
Yeah, we really didn't get past the title of the blog, so we spent some time doing that. And you can see on the chat up there a bunch of options I had, which I think they're pretty good options. And so we didn't really get that far into content. So I'm thinking, and Matthew, let me know if this sounds like a good idea. I'll give you my suggestion for title for your article, and then give you, I don't know, 10 points or something of notes that you can put in the article, and then it's going to be your webpage, so you can do what you want with it. But these are kind of my recommendations, and then you do the same for me. Does that sound reasonable going forward?
Because Matthew does not know about oral radiology, and you are not an expert in frameware. And so if he fills out the notes about your business, it'll be less effective than if you do. And you literally need maybe 2 or 3, because we're going to use AI to do the heavy lifting. Okay. So while we're sitting here, I want you guys to go into the line item for your business. So Matthew, you would come to row 4 and you're going to fill out the notes are the most important thing. The title is kind of a secondary need. And then
Can you do me a favor? Can you post in the chat? I only see Tony's chat. Can you repost the Google Doc so I can get?
Absolutely. You betcha.
Thanks.
You betcha.
And I can't edit the Google Doc. It
Oh,
won't
you
let me
probably have-
type in here.
Refresh your page now and you'll be able to. I
Okay.
gave everyone access to edit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me know if it's still not working.
So this
Works now.
component is going to make the rest of our exercise easier. And so I want to spend another 3 minutes here. So I want you to go into your tab, whichever room you were in. You'll notice in the professional services tab, we spent some time working on the notes here. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be cleaned up. It doesn't have to be grammatically correct. The idea is like, we're just helping. We're going to make it easier to help each other. And we'll do that by having notes about our article. Okay. The other thing too here is the reference link is where do you want this link to be sent to? Where do you want, so for example, with Austin, he's going to be promoted on EVN Law. And so this article is an article on HR Services website that already is talking about law. And since Thor is an attorney, that's a really great backlink to coordinate those two components. It's like a really natural backlink. I did something about, hey, you don't just need HR compliance. You also, there's some requirements that Google gives us to have a great website. So check out this audit tool and see how your business can be improved. Your website can be improved. So there's a good correlation between who's giving the website link and who's receiving it. Okay. So let's just have a few more minutes and we will, if you guys can finish filling out the notes and potential article ideas for the link you're going to receive about your business. Okay.
So, Sarah, does my website turn into a magical unicorn if I get the links all set up and they have an A now and everything else is all A's?
Your magical unicorn. One link is not a magical.
No, I mean, if I fix a backlinking problem, then now it's a unicorn page if I get all the usability is a little
welcome to run. Yeah, you're welcome to run your audit tool and see if there's anything that needs to be fixed and use that as your guide. Yeah, it's really fun to see. And like, for example, Google has a health score that you can check your website health score. If you get all hundreds on those, you get like this confetti cannon spray, which is kind of like being a unicorn. So yeah, you can use these tools to help you navigate what changes need to be made.
Now you talked about opting out of doing a powered by John and for your company and your clientele. We talked briefly about that. I was talking about doing something for our franchise business with HR powered by.
If it's relevant and your franchises will be relevant.
So essentially they could basically be like our HR department is powered by, and they could still do that kind of a thing. I could still stack that as a backlinking process for onboarding new clients.
100%. Okay. It just has to be relevant. So for example, we did a website for a European auto mechanic, which has nothing to do with websites, right? So that was an irrelevant connection, which is why we chose not to do backlinks, right?
Okay.
But if your franchises are selling your product, that backlink would be brilliant. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
For the franchisees, not the clients themselves, right? So the franchisees, it would make sense for each of them to have their own backlink or different things. Okay. But for clientele,
unless they had like they could have a blog on their website that was talking about, hey, I'm in construction. Why did I hire an HR company to help me run my business? Then that would be relevant. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Those great questions. Okay. How's everyone feeling? Are we good? Are you guys still typing? Do you guys have notes on your
Typing.
section? You got some good? Does anybody need some more time? Okay, I'm going to move on to our next section. We're going to talk about sandwiches for a minute. So AI is new to the world. AI is taking over the world by storm. And so one of the most recent Google launches of the Google algorithms just came out and penalized websites that are using a lot of AI. And so I think we have to understand how we can use AI and why we can use AI and what we need to be aware of in terms of AI. And so what I like to do is when I'm creating copy that I'm going to be posting on a website that's using AI, I was thinking about it as a sandwich. The human input is going to be the bread. And unless you want a really sad sandwich, we have to have the bread, right? That's what makes it so good. So you want to start with good human input. You're going to run it through the machine, and then you're going to end with human input. That's going to be the other side of the bread. If you just use your AI output, it's going to feel like AI and it's going to be flagged as AI and it's not going to be as effective. Am I saying not to use AI? No, I'm just saying we have to be cognizant of how we're using AI. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. I will pop this. Wendy, will you put these suggestions in the chat? That would be fantastic. So this is where those notes come into play. So they're so helpful, but this is really fun. So you're going to say, I own a business, and you're going to add the industry that you're in Draper. So I would say I own a website development business in Draper, Utah. So you're going to fill in about your business. Okay. I'm writing a website blog article about, and then you're going to write in your partner's industry. Please write a 500-word article titled, and you could have a title or not. You can have AI write the title. Have 3 to 4 suggestions. Use the focus keywords. If you want to have the focus keywords, you can add that to the header, subheader, and once in the paragraph. Now, I'm so glad Austin came today because I used his business as an example. So if I were to write an article about HR services on the Jumbo John website, this is how I replaced it. I own a website development business in Draper, Utah. Please write a 500-word article titled 5 Reasons Why a Good Marketing Plan Should Include an HR Partnership. Please use the keyword HR service in the header, subheader, and once in the paragraph. Okay, so that's the good output. Now you could add, these are my notes about the article, and have the system incorporate the notes you just wrote. So this is a link this is what I got back. So this is my prompt in ChatGPT, and it came up with a 500-word article that's ready for me to edit. It takes 2 minutes. So cool. Okay, so what I want you to do, I'm going to go back a screen because that is our prompt that we're working on. I want you guys to open up ChatGPT, and I want you to you can copy and paste this prompt that Wendy just put in the chat and fill in using the worksheet that we just fill in the information about your partner and run your article through ChatGPT. And I will give you guys, we'll give you guys about 8 minutes. And if you need less time than that, that's okay, but we'll have about 8 minutes to work on it.
Okay, so did you say that you were posting some kind of a link, or I just open up ChatGPT?
Yeah, just open ChatGPT. Wendy, will you pop the link in for me, please? If you don't have an account with ChatGPT, there's an option to log in with your Google account, which I think is the easiest.
Okay, I do not. So thank you for that.
That's super easy to do that.
So I think we need to share our keywords.
Oh,
Put
yes.
mine in the chat right now.
Yes, I love that. Let's make a column on the article on the spreadsheet that we could add the focus keyword.
Thor, are you doing it or do you want me to do it?
No, I want you guys to do it.
You guys could all be doing it, and it would be, you guys might come up with something different, but it's good to practice. Okay.
Oh, I feel like such a big girl now. I have ChatGPT.
Uh-huh. I love it. We're going to try to make this as easy as possible, but there are a lot of moving parts.
Sarah, can you put the prompts that you want us to do in the chat?
Yeah. Yep.
Because I was typing it in off of your slide and
Oh no, you don't need to do that. I'll take better care of you. I just popped it in the chat.
Okay,
Yep.
thanks.
Okay, so I enter in the stuff on the message ChatGPT, or
Yes, I'll walk you through. So if you're feeling really comfortable, just keep going on. I will show you from scratch what it looks like.
Okay.
So this is the article that it wrote about HR services.
Okay.
Which is super cool. But from scratch, so I would come up here and say new chat.
New chat. So let me pop over and take a look and see if I have that. Oh, there it is. Okay.
And then down here it says message chat GPT. I'm going to paste that prompt in here, and then I can go back and forth between which one I'm giving. So I am giving an article to Xana. So then I would come in here. I own a website development business in Draper. I'm writing a website blog article about RK Concrete in Sandy, Utah. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to my notes. Oh, backlink. So I can open up these notes and just say, these are my notes. And there's 2 columns with notes in it. There's the business summary, and then there's
sorry about all that. I just
no, it's good. It's fantastic. And so the keyword
treated it like a brainstorming exercise,
which is great. And it doesn't matter. It can you can have lots of information. So I just popped in the prompt and I added the notes to it. And then it gives me 4 suggested titles. And then it gives me this article.
Okay. All right. I'll get started on EVNs. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. I'm going to turn that off so it's less distracting as you guys work through. You guys may have a first draft. The first round that I received from when I'm doing Xana's prompt was written as if it's just it would be a really good article for Xana's website because it's just about concrete. But if I'm putting it on my website, that doesn't make sense. So what I did is I say rewrite and correlate to a website development business. And so now I have a new article, The Importance of a Strong Foundation, RK Concrete's Commitment to Quality and Its Parallels in Website Development, which would make more sense to mine. Now, the really fun thing is you can say, I'm going to do something egregious just as an example, rewrite as if I am a cowboy in a Western film. This is just to showcase the flexibility that is ChatGPT. Howdy, partner. Sit and spell and let me spin you a yarn about how building a strong foundation ain't just for ranches and saloons. So you can be really creative and you can lean on ChatGPT to make the article interesting, to make it more relevant to your business. You can really, really play with it. Okay. RK Concrete knows, just like any cowboy worth his salt, that a strong foundation is the cornerstone of any project. Just so fun. Okay, how are you guys doing? Give me a thumbs up if you're getting close to a draft that's usable. Okay. Now, one of the potential assignments that you have is spending time reading through the article and doing an edit on it. Taking out words that may seem really cliche or phrases that seem really sterile and making it your own. Now you're using your intellect and your experience with this person. In this room, most of us know each other really well. And so how can you make it your own? Okay, so we're not going to spend time doing that today, but that would be an opportunity, good, better, best. That would be taking a good article and going to that better or best. Okay. What I want to do next is I want to show you what you're going to do with that article now that you have it edited. Okay. Cool. When did you have that page that's the instructions on how to do a blog post? If you don't, that's okay.
No, I do not. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, that's totally okay. Okay. So what we're going to do, I will show you how to do this on my website. I just popped in a bunch of information inside of the chat. But I'm going to show you, how many of you are on WordPress? Okay, Xana is, Austin is, Tony is. I know Chris has got a different builder, Xana. Okay, so your details are going to be a little bit different. They're not going to be identical, but they're going to be very similar to what I'm showing you. If you're unfamiliar with your back end, typically you could just go to Google and do a search and get instructions on how to add a blog post, but it's going to be very similar to most website developers. Okay. So what you're going to do, I just logged into my website. So I'm on the back end of my Jumbo John website. If you're on WordPress, it will look very similar to this. Up here, the plus new button is for, if you just click plus new on WordPress, it will automatically get a new post, or you can come down here to the drop down to post, or you can come to post and click add new post. Okay. Either one of those will get you to where you want to go. Now, on our website, we use Beaver Builder. So this is a little bit different and it'll depend on which theme that you're using, but the really important things are going to be similar. So what I would do, and again, I haven't done my editing, but I want to show you the process of adding the website content to your blog. You're going to grab your content and you're going to just the header, and you are going to add where it says the title. How we have it set up on the Jumbo John website is that the title of the page becomes the URL. Some templates don't do that, some do, but you want to make sure that you understand what your URL is and hopefully use a keyword. Okay. Using Beaver Builder, I'm going to launch. Oh, you know what? I'm going to use my standard editor because this will be more common. So now I'm in the paragraph copy. You guys, this is so easy. This is not hard. This is so easy. I'm going to copy this content and I'm going to pop my cursor in the paragraph font and I'm going to hit paste. So easy now. I use a tool called Grammarly, and so that's why you see a lot of editing opportunities. I haven't edited it. We all know we haven't edited it yet. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide, I'm going to go back to my Backlink Party and I'm going to decide which URL Xana wants this to go to her homepage. So I'm going to grab the URL and I'm going to put my URL. I'm going to highlight a couple words. So at RK Concrete, I'm going to highlight that word. There'll be a link icon. It might look different than yours. And I'm going to pop the URL in here. Now, it's really important that if you're going to have a link going to another website, that you open a new tab. That's really important. And so if you go to advanced settings, there's going to be an option that says open in a new tab. If you're doing a link to a website page on your website, you don't have to do this, but if you're going to another location, you want to make sure your tab stays open and then their website opens in a new tab. And then you click save. Okay. And then you'll notice inside of my instructions, Google wants you to link to another page on your website. So this is the Jumbo John website. So I need to find a way, like where to send this article to another page on the Jumbo John website. So it says in both construction and web development. So I would highlight website development. I'm going to click my link button. Inside of WordPress, you don't have to know the URL. You just click, you just type something, and it's going to show me all of the pages on my website that have the word website development on it. And I'm going to just click on business website and it will link it for me. Okay. This is the really, really easy. This is really, really simple. This is not hard to do. Now, the one caveat that I wanted to share with you is that most websites, you want to have a featured image. You want the images to be pretty. I did not schedule time to show you guys how to optimize images. It does take some work, but we're not going to talk about that today. You just don't want to take a really big picture that's straight from your phone. You can print on your wall in the living room and put it on your blog post, because that will really slow down your website. Okay. I would love to hear from you guys. Who wants to do a recap for me on what I just showed you guys? And then I'm going to give you guys some time. Even if you don't publish what you've got today, if you guys want to work on adding the post to your website and knowing how to add a post will be really helpful. And then I'm going to show you one more thing before we're finished. Okay. Who wants to recap for me? Who wants to volunteer?
I can do it.
Go for it, Matthew.
Okay, so you want us to go into ChatGPT, build an article, edit the article, make sure that it's relevant to your business and then how it relates to the other business. You're going to go in, you're going to create a blog post, you're going to post the blog post. You're then going to find keywords within the blog post. Go to the Google spreadsheet, grab where they want you to link the URL code and link words in the URL code. You're going to do a couple of those to link to their website, and then you're going to make sure that you do a couple that link back to other pages on your website.
You are awesome, Matthew. I'm so impressed. You did that so good. You did that so well. Okay, so actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to present one additional idea for you guys, and then I am going to keep this line open as long as you guys want to stay. If you guys want to take time to do the posting on your website, I will stay and navigate and help and answer as many questions as I can. But that way, after I finish my one more thought that I want to share with you guys, if you guys need to go or you want to go, you guys can take off. Okay. So
I have one question.
Sure.
So I did mine with Tony and I put it in ChatGPT and it gives me actually a totally unusable article. So I kind of have to get with Tony because he's got to change a few things that are going to relate more into how I care would relate into what he wants me to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's giving me an article about like suggestions of, you know, investing in advanced technology, utilizing software tools to enhance his analysis, collaborating with radiology experts.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I wrote an article for me to suggest to a dentist how to use Tony's service. And it doesn't really relate to my business at all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So number one is that ChatGPT and all AI technology is designed to learn. So if the first version you get is horrible, start over and say, that's not it at all. try again, but you have to give it more suggestions. So what the goal of this is, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. The goal is to get a link on the website. And so number one is give AI more information and tell AI what to rewrite. What we don't want to do is we don't want to have this be a big hard thing that takes a lot of time for you and a lot of time for him, because then it's not going to be sustainable, right?
Right.
So what I would recommend is going back to Tony's notes and seeing how can you simplify or clarify the notes to say, hey, AI, make an article about these 3 topics. So it's just really simplified. That, I think, will be the solution to that problem.
And can I add in, maybe you can clarify if you agree, Sarah, on this, but I think you guys have similar industries because you're medical providers. There's a lot that is similar just because of your industry and your business type of how you interact with clients or how you guys operate as a business. Are there similarities between the 2 industries that you just want to have a couple of those notes? Like the one example we used with marketing and construction was maybe not foundation is the word that they want to use as their keyword, but that infrastructure, or that a certain things, that there's a certain building that has to happen similar between the 2. But I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking would be might be helpful for you guys to come up with something that's similar between the 2, even if it's just saying, how is his industry as close to mine, and why would you need to have each of us as a professional in the healthcare industry?
Yeah. What you're saying, if I'm understanding you correctly, Austin, is we need to refocus our keywords to be a little bit more in common.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
ChatGPT will be able to interpret that we're trying to find something that's in common, or something that between the 2 of us that just needs to be legible and intelligent enough to say, hey, that makes sense. That's a legitimate structure, for how you guys operate or work, or your relationship to each other, or something.
I love that.
The other thing, there's a couple more points to remember, because really writing prompts for AI is a skill. You'll get better and better at it the more that you practice, and the more that you kind of see, oh, this is how I get the result that I want. But what you have to remember is you can be super specific. You can provide tons of detail. You could actually take an article you've already written and paste it into ChatGPT and then just say, rewrite this, but include a reference to this guy's website. It's that easy. And so you are really, really in control of the output that you get. You're way smarter than ChatGPT. And so you kind of have to realize that you're telling it what to do. It's just really, really good at what it does, which is writing. So it's what you get out is going to be a function of how well you wrote the prompt. And it's just something that you have to play around with. But if you get started now under, this little program that Sarah's introducing, I think you're going to get really, really good at creating your marketing content and just leveraging how much easier it is to write, 2 pages with ChatGPT giving you the first draft, as opposed to having to come up with all that typing on your own.
Yeah.
And it just takes 4 or 5 times longer. So that's really the goal. ChatGPT isn't really going to,
Sarah,
be as
can I
amazing
ask?
as we might think AI should be. But it's a really, really useful tool if you can kind of figure out how it works and how to get it to spit out what you want as a first draft.
Yep.
Sarah, can I ask you for one more ask?
Yeah.
Can you, and maybe you have this already, can you create a cheat sheet of the prompts?
Sure. Yeah. I'll add that to probably a second tab so that it's all there. I'd be happy to do that. That would be really easy. I have it all organized and written out. But I'll put all of my notes in there. I want to show you guys when we're finished. So now that I have this post for Xana on my website, I'm going to come in here and say, yes, I posted it. And then I'm going to paste the URL in here. So now Xana can come into this link and she can go ahead and say, oh my gosh, I was highlighted on Jumbo John's website. and then she can direct traffic to the post that I have on my website about her. Okay. Yesterday, my team highlighted the article we wrote about Thor on our social media. Thor, I can send that to you. Then you can like reshare it and be like, hey, John just wrote an article about us. Right.
Yeah, Melanie does our social media
This is
posting,
not
so
you.
just send all that stuff to Melanie and
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
we'll start circulating it on LinkedIn and Facebook.
That's awesome. So the way that you finish this, like this is our white elephant gift, right? You're giving a link to get a link, is after
Oh yeah, I gave him
posted,
the best repair that I could.
after you've posted, I want you to come to this Backlink Party page and say, yes, I posted it, and this is where I can find it. Okay, that's how we finish this full circle. Now, good, better, best, there may be an opportunity for us to help more than just that one link. So the last thing that I wanted to encourage you guys to do is just to take a minute to go into the guest list and see if there's any other way that you can share links on your website to these other providers. So for example, we have a page on our website already about HR service because we redesigned their website. That'd be a really easy for me to go and make sure that there's a link, not just to his homepage, but to say, hey, if you want to check out HR solutions with law, like this is a link that would be helpful for me to add to an already existing component that's already on my website. Okay. So we're taking time to write a blog article and have a relevant link, but then you can go through and say, hey, how else can I serve this community? And the next step would be to go through and see what is already on my website that would be easy for me to link to the people that are in the room. Okay. You guys, thank you so much for being here. I would love to hear from a couple of you of like, what are your takeaways from today? What are your takeaways? What are you going to do with this information moving forward?
I have a lot to learn. So that's my takeaway. I'm excited. I will be rewatching this and following along step by step. I do have my ChatGPT thing up, and I may have to, I guess I would probably, I don't know. I feel like I want to check in with Thor and make sure that he likes it before I actually put it up. Is that?
Well, here's the thing, good, better, best. Best practice would say yes, but that takes extra time.
I'm happy to put in the extra time if you guys are okay with me reaching out to one of you and making sure that looks good to you.
Yeah,
I told Audrey that I would do the same, that
Okay.
I would send it to her just so that she could look at it, just to make sure that it was like.
I'm pretty confident what I've got you'll be happy with, Thor. but I could send it to you too if you really want it.
Yes, we're gonna keep Thor busy, guys. So good. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Xana. Who else has a takeaway that they want to share with the team?
Do we
I
have
just think this could be
contact
really.
information available? Sorry.
Oh, that'd be good.
Inside there is a guest list on our Backlink Party tab. If Thor, if you could have, or Melanie, if you could on the guest list tab add information on yours is on row 9 because you guys are new to this team and you could put your phone number and email addresses there. That'd be great.
Okay, thanks. Sorry, Tony.
Yeah, no problem. I was just going to say, I think this could be really useful. Like for my website, I've been doing some marketing and it's coming along, but it looks like this is a weakness, is getting quality backlinks, not just quantity of backlinks. So
yes, if you're
hopefully it'll
paying
help.
for quantity of backlinks, a low domain authority backlink is $175. A high quality domain authority backlink is about $450. So doing this, like think about the value of like we're spending our time, which could be equated to that much money. But if we're willing to do the work and do the follow-up and finish what we started, think about how much value that is. So valuable. Awesome. One more. Who else has a takeaway they want to share with the team?
Can you bring this to the WIN network in Park City so that we can all do this in Park City?
Absolutely. I would love to. I would love to. And it was so cool to have an organization that you're collaborating together and you have a commonality with your goals and your location, I'd be happy to. So, okay, you guys, the last
Sarah,
piece-
where do you want me to add that on this page?
so
Sorry.
go on page on row 9 on
Uh-huh. Just out to the end after industry. Do you want me to just add it, or?
do it underneath your company name, so it's easy on column B. I would do it
Okay.
there. It's easy to
Okay,
see.
sorry.
No, that's totally
You
fine.
just
Okay,
want the email addresses?
I would do email address and phone number would be great. Okay, so this is the last piece of this. This is only effective if we follow through. And this is the hardest part because we all love each other. At least we like each other. But if we're not following through, like even if we have good intentions and don't follow through, it's not helpful, right? And so this is my plea, my invitation is that we finish what we start. And so what I will do, I will start an email chain that has all of the links on this, that has the video recording, so you guys can access this. But I would really love to celebrate when we finish the link. So if you guys want to do a reply all and be like, hey, I'm finished, let's celebrate, because that's how we're going to make the biggest impact, is by following through and having our links done. So you get a huge hurrah for getting your blog post article posted with a backlink, and you'll get extra hurrahs if you have a way to backlink to other people in the room, if you can find an easy way to do that. Okay.
I do
So-
have one ask as well.
for it.
Can we create a a WhatsApp or something for this group, or some form of a group organized, something we can, you know, I mean, it seems like if we keep doing the other one, the other group chat, that for this meeting in particular, there's going to be, I mean, we can continue to invite people. I just,
No, I think that's a great, I think
know.
that's a great idea. I will have my team do that. Thor, is your team on WhatsApp? Can you guys get on WhatsApp?
I think so. I know I am.
Okay. So I will create a WhatsApp chat group just for this group, and that way we can celebrate there and we can share our links. The other thing you could do is you could share links on social media. Now that we know, like, that is a great way to be like, hey, oh my gosh, Chris is doing this event up in Park City, here's the link. Having all that information, those interconnections, that's what Google's looking for, is A, how many people are referring to that particular location, and B, what is the experience like in that environment. And so what we're solving today is getting more links into your environment. So
Can we have people add their social media to this guest list page
Sure.
then, so we have it?
yeah, that'd be awesome.
I was going to say, if we're going to do this backlinking connection thing with this group, I'm like, let's all be friends on social medias. Let's all connect on all the LinkedIns. Let's all get as connected as we can, you know, socially too. But
I love it.
I was also going to ask, how do we want to formally bring new people in? Because
Well, and that's the question is too, is that I have, I think we should get on the books for next month for this particular group. And then what I can do is I can have an introduction class for anybody that's new that would have to come early, because you guys won't, unless you want to.
Part of me is like, make everybody that wants to join this watch this recording. I mean, they're all going to hear me say that, and I'm going to be the one that they'll all do the you know, the eyebrow raise at later. But I'm just like, I make everybody watch this, because then they can all do this preliminary training that we all just walk through, get a first go around, and then when they show up to the next one, they're going to be ready for how do they participate.
Absolutely. I love that idea. Let's make it as easy as possible. Let's do evergreen. Okay. Is there anybody that doesn't want to be, well, I'm just gonna throw out an invitation for next month. And even though July is a crazy busy month, I just say we get on the books, and whoever can come can come. I think the week of the 15th would work really well. Do you guys like Wednesdays? Do you guys like Fridays better? If we were to put something on the books. Today's Thursdays. I mean, I know I'm just probably gonna have to pick something.
Depends on the week. for me.
Not Fridays,
Okay.
please.
Okay, you got it. If you're here and you can give us feedback, then you get to choose. Okay, so I can do would Thursday the 18th work for you guys as a whole? Is that good? Thursday, July 18th? Tony's out.
I'm teaching all day that day, but
Okay, what about Wednesday the 17th?
I could do in the morning that day.
Thursday, I could do the morning of the 18th.
No, I'm teaching all day Thursday. Wednesday
Oh.
I could do in the morning.
On Wednesday, you could do in the
This-
morning.
We're
Wednesday
talking
morning,
July 17th, right?
July 17th. Does that
So
work?
morning like this time.
Okay. So
Fine.
what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just create a recurring event on the third, I think it would be the third Wednesday of the month in the morning. And then the goal of what I'd like to do, if we schedule a bigger amount of time, the goal is like, can we get the work done during that meeting? I think that's more effective than having a short meeting with homework.
Yeah.
So I'll schedule it
full
I'll schedule for an hour and a half with the intention of we're going to do the work when we're together, and then then you're done. Then you don't have to worry about it again. Does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah,
Yep.
what will the start time be? Because I'm available at 10 o'clock or later.
Okay, 10 o'clock
For a
it
start.
is. I'm
Okay.
fine starting at 10. I'm gonna start at 9:30 because I have an 11 o'clock stop. So Thor, can you join us after you're available?
Yeah, I have a 30-minute meeting at 9:30, and as soon as that's over, I can
Okay,
jump
so
on.
come as soon as you can. Okay.
Okay.
And then moving forward, can we do it at 10? The next one at 9:30, but then moving forward, if we're gonna do it as a monthly reoccurring, can we do it?
I
at 10?
have a recurring at 11 o'clock on Wednesdays. I can see if I can change it, but that is a little bit tricky for me. So
It's all right.
yeah.
So we shorten it to an hour, go 10 to 11.
If
Do we need
if we don't need to do all the training, all we would need to do is get into groups and decide on our topics. And now that we know what we're doing a little bit better, we could have our homework in advance.
We
and
have a
give
set
them
agenda. Yeah, we could have a hard dive right in. This is what we're doing. We're breaking out at this time. After 15 minutes, we dive into that. I mean, we could have a hard
Mhm.
level 10 meeting or something if we wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I think that's great. So I will plan on starting 9:30 next round. And then I think going forward, if we did so then the next one would be August 14th, or we could do if we're doing the third Wednesday, it'd be the 21st. And I'll just schedule that at 10 o'clock. And we'll do a recurring on that one.
Okay.
Does that sound good? All right, you guys, thank you so much. I will send up a follow-up here in a minute. I would love to hear you guys' feedback. If I get fancy enough, I'll send you a survey. And if I don't, then that's okay too. But I hope you guys, it was worth your time today.
Thank you for all your work, Sarah.
You're welcome. I'm really excited. Wendy was really great, and she had to hop off a little bit. I really appreciate Wendy's help too. So thank you guys so much. So I will do the WhatsApp so that we stay connected. And then we're going to do the reoccurring meetings, and then I will get the recording so new people can watch this in the future. So, all right. Thanks, you guys. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah. Bye.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.